Hola amigos, ¿cómo estás? Estoy aprendiendo español. Español es perfecto, rico hombre número uno. Is that okay? All right.
I come home every single day from working double shifts and stop along the way to pick you up a couple gifts. I come inside of you, pretend you miss me when you kiss me. Then you diss me and we strenuously fight continuously. Again you kiss me for no.
Hola amigos, it's Richie Rich in the house, in the place to be, providing you another super duper video only the way the rich man can. I hope everybody is having a fantastical day. And in this video, I'm gonna be, as I put on my post, I'm gonna be talking about like my experiences. Pretty much when I was working in the 9 to 5 world, more specifically when I was working in Sketchers and when I got fired from there, which was funny enough 2 years ago to this day, 2019. Um, 2019 around this week. I believe I still got my payslip, and this time 2 years ago, I was in I was really kind of stuck, really in a place that I didn't want to be. So how it kind of led up, for me getting in, like me being in Sketchers, was, if anyone knows me, I've been in like the fitness industry, for at least coming to 5 to 6 years. Was working as primarily a gym instructor, became a personal trainer. This like all started in 2015, and then I, started teaching classes, making programs, dealt a bit in like nutrition and that. You know what I mean? So that was my main background, and even before that, when I was in school, I was playing football, I was playing soccer, I was on the, athletics, I was not to like, brag, but I was an all around like, athlete, so it was very difficult when you translate that to kind of like, going into the job world, like if you haven't made it like as a soccer player, or you're not like an all-star, moving to the Olympics, it's very difficult because like when you haven't made it, you have to go in these kind of jobs that you don't want to be there just to make ends meet, and this happened a lot, especially when 20, like the end of 2018 and to 2019, where I kind of for a while was stuck in the retail game for about, let's say, 7 to 8 months, and this all really started honestly because I was working in the gyms. I was working in like even school, kind of like after school gyms. But I had issues with the bosses telling me what to do, because I always loved when I was a personal trainer. Like again, I'm captain of my own ship. I beat my own drum. I can teach the classes the way I want to do it. So when I had this authority figure above me who had no knowledge of like fitness, or he wasn't even fit as well, me with my big mouth, I had to tell him like, what I want. So, because of like me exiting like gyms like abruptly, and especially me who's not someone to like, beg for money or like ask for like, help from the government, I just like suck in my pride and I just went for work elsewhere. And thus happened with like these retail like jobs. Yeah, like before the 2018, where I came back to like retail. I had done retail earlier before, like early 2010s, 2011, 2013. I was in Zara. I spent time in like the equivalent to Home Depot. It was called B&Q. You name it. Like I've worked in so many jobs. Like the rich man has worked. There's plenty. But like I, for a good time, I was like, I don't mind what job I have to do. If I'm a cleaner, if I'm a painter, even if I'm a lollipop, lady. If I had to do that, I would do that. But I did not want to come back to retail. So when I came back in there, so this is how it works in 2018. So when I left the gym, I was with the school gym, I was working abruptly. Um, from there, like 2 weeks later, this was around August 2018. September 2018, I got a job in Selfridges, which is this huge, big retail store, one of the most like it's prestige there. It takes the whole block of Oxford Street. And so many people feel like, yo, Selfridge is it's the place to be to work there. But once you're actually in there, you actually find out it truly isn't. You know what I mean? So I was in Selfridges for 6 months. From Selfridges, I went to Skechers. From Skechers, I went to the Mango retail store. From Mango, I went to it was a couple, two restaurants. So I went to like a bar, and I went to a Japanese restaurant. And the reason I mentioned those two restaurants is they were still retail. You get what I mean? It was still the same way you had to interact with customers, the way you had to kind of sell, and you had to always be like kind of like everyone has days when they don't want to be around people. This is why I love being in my place I'm in now. I've got my own space. When I was in like that retail circuit, you especially me, who always had like these kind of like had these kind of goals, and like these kind of aspirations to do something. Being in those places can really just fuck it up. You know what I mean? Because you're thinking of, oh, I need to do this, then your manager's telling you to do this. Or how much are you paying me? Yeah, we're paying you £8 an hour. And you again just suck in your gut, because I knew even at that time I wasn't at a point where I could just be like, okay, let me just throw this down and leave. It's the process. Like Sketchers, it was really one of the most tough times. Again, from so where I said 2018, when I was in Selfridges, I spent the 6 months and I went to Skechers. While I was in Selfridges, I was working at a fitness center, which was on the complete opposite side of Selfridges. So I used to be in Selfridges first thing in the morning. As soon as I finished, I would take like a 30 to 45-minute train ride to basically the other side of the town to go teach these classes, like sometimes back to back, sometimes with them in the middle. Then I had my one-to-one classes, one-to-one clients. So I had a full day of like waking up 6 in the morning and not getting back to my place around 10 at night. And it was so mind numbing of where I wanted to be in the fitness and getting my clients, becoming more confident, teaching my classes, and just like getting more, the best way, even like I said, to really improve yourself is just to be there, even when you're not on shift. You don't have clients. Just be in the gym environment. That's the only way you're gonna pick it up. So when I was forced to like not spend my time and necessary time in the gym, and I had to fly all the way to like Selfridges to basically work this kind of job that you're only gonna get to this place. You ain't getting to supervisor. You're not gonna own the Selfridges. You gotta stick there and just know your role. Shut up and just wait for your pay at the end of the month. Fast forward to Skechers. It was just another. It was just another name for Selfridges, but just a smaller, big franchise. It was in the States. When I got to Skechers, it was a real, for two things. I mean, it was a real kind of like kick in the ass for myself to be like, yeah, Rich, you need to really kind of shape your life up. And it really also, the second thing, it also showed me how the like the dominoes kind of effect. It's like people who again have the same kind of beliefs, or the same kind of circuit of people they surround themselves with from like school, middle school, college, university, and now into Skechers. Some people, again, and I talked about this in that other video I made, some people like don't have their own goals, what they wanted to do. I was in Sketches. I was probably like one of the oldest guys there, and a lot of them they just didn't like if you ask them, like I said, all right, look, why are you in sketches? You know, I mean, you're intelligent, you know, you graduated, you know, why you're here. And they'll tell you like, you know, I'm just, you know, here until I can find like a proper job. And you'd ask them, what's a proper job mean? And it would go to the line of, oh, it's just something that they want to make their, you know, above proud, you know, their parents, their aunties, the ones who raised them, you know. And it felt like I was, and I'm guarantee I was the only one in sketches who was just like, look, man, I was doing this as a pit stop, you know what I mean? I got three or four things going on, you know, I'm just trying to do my stuff and get out, you know. Because I had that attitude when I got into sketches, I was a target. You know what I mean? I was a big target, you know. I really I've dealt with like political, you know, kind of toxic environments before sketches, and you know, this was coming into a place that was heightened on so many levels. The sketches that I was working at was on one of the main like you know, populated streets. You know what I mean? So you had like a lot of like different people from different types of the world coming in there, and it would get really busy. You know, like I was there around the Easter period. You know, so a lot of people would have like their time off. You know, they have their break. You know, so you had to always kind of stay on the floor and attend to customers, even if you were, you know, free. You know, you'd already served the customer. You just wanted to take a time to chill. You were on like the front stage. It's like on the stage, so everyone could see you. So you couldn't then take like a break just to be like, oh, let me just lean, let me take a seat. You know what I mean? They would just sit there and they would just work you to the nail. You know, 6 to 8 hour shifts, just on your feet, listening to this bullshit radio, going to customers you know don't need help, just going in to just window shop or browse, and you just had to always be on the toes. One of the main concerns I always had was because I'm a fitness guy, you know, I'm always drinking like fluid, you know, as you can see, trying to stay as hydrated as I can. You know, when I was on the shop floor, the toilet was downstairs. Just like school, I had to ask. I always hate this. I had to keep asking the supervisor to go downstairs to go to the toilet. They would get angry that like I was somehow going into the toilet all the time to just kind of like Skype, as they call it, you know, take a break, not deal with the customers all the time, you know, which is partially true. But, you know, again, if I would need to go take a piss, I don't, as a grown man, you know what I mean, you know, late 20s at that time, I don't need to, you know, fucking ask permission for that. You know what I mean? This is not school, but it's like, again, as I said before, it's that school vibe translate now into that job world. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of like, you know, that school kind of mentality of like, you know, the popular kids, the cool kids. I go put my hand up to, you know, ask a question. As I said, like I was one of the you know, oldest there. Like the average age in sketches was like, you know, what is it, 17, 18 to like 26, 27. You know, my age then. You know, so you know, it was again, it was just a lot of difficulties. I had to do that where like as sketchers, you know, it's like I had to have permission to do stuff. Then when I was in my gym at the time, you know, I could do I was a free man. I could do what I want. I need to go toilet, need to drink my water, I need to go outside to get something to eat. I was at peace. You know, so having these two different kind of like workstations, you know, it was just so stressful for a place that didn't mean anything, you know. Like I can even check my last pay slip now. I was getting £8.21 an hour. You know what I mean? And it's what happens to a lot of people who stay on this kind of train for a long time. You know, like I said, I was only there just for a month. You know what I mean? And it was the most like stressful time, you know, stressful time in retail I've ever had. Yes, you know, one of the other things. So like in sketches, they ran the way that like you could really make money there is like by the commission, you know, like you get your standard rate and like how many like kind of sneakers or like sketches accessories you could sell, you know, once you would get someone a customer would purchase the item, you'd put your name in, you'd put your code in, and like once this sells, it will go to your name, you know what I mean? So if you can keep on doing that, it will come as commission. So whilst I was in there, Again, and I learned this like in probably like too late. I learned this like at the end of week 1. I saw that it was just very cutthroat. You know what I mean? Like I would be with customers that like I'd be like, okay, you're purchasing stuff, but you're my customer, and that the second you would kind of walk away, what I mean, like if you're going to just a quiet area to make a radio, like hey, blah blah blah, I need this type of shoe, size 9, blah 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 blah. Someone could just sneak in and take that customer. You know what I mean? Just to boost up their commission. And again, I was one of the people who was already fine because I was already working the gym. Straight after I finished the sketches, I already had my classes, I had my timetable ready to teach. So I wasn't really, getting extra money is cool, but again, I wasn't gonna sacrifice my blood, my sweat, like give my whole energy for sketches. So when you'd have these staff who's supposed to be like a team, but like in the face they're like, yeah man, hey, I didn't, but because one thing I didn't do is I didn't say like I was working in the gym, I was doing my other stuff, I was on the grind, this is just a pistol. I never said it, I just kept it quiet. They say ignorance is bliss. That's what I was doing. But for them, they all thought we were in the kind of same kind of like community field. Like these lot knew more than me, which they didn't. So they would kind of smile in your face, like to the things like, oh, blah blah blah, this is it, and that. And behind your back, the day you didn't show up to work, the day you weren't in scheduled to work, the day you were on the other side, of you in the staff room, they would just talk shit about you. You know what I mean? Just so negative, and it just felt like just being transported back into school again, and when I actually got that, like within the week, I could just feel like this kind of like, very, very like bad kind of feeling inside me. Like, again, I'm only coming here. This is just a way just to balance this and my gym, because at the gym when I first came in, it was really, again, as I said, it was on the other side when I was in the UK. So getting there was, sometimes when I look back, like now, like I would have never ever like had to waste my time to travel onto that side. You know what I mean? It's just because that was the only position at the gym, at the time. You know what I mean? And I sacrificed a lot to go there in the evenings and balance this job because again, at this time I was trying to go Florida, in the summer, and the worst thing is, once they know not once they know like you're I wouldn't say desperate, but once they know you need this job for ulterior motives, they'll kind of fuck you up because they could tell by my body language. you know um I'm not saying I wasn't like a team player, but it's like I couldn't get the sketches had like burned down the next day. I would have just been like, cool, when we're getting paid. You know what I mean? So they hate people like that they can't control. You know what I'm saying? So it made it very super difficult when you were dealing with the supervisors because again, there's a lot of people who kiss ass. They'll talk to them like, "Oh, how's your dog? How's your? Are you going to that wedding? You're going back? Are you traveling?" They'll make this kind of like a bullshit kind of idle talk to get up the ranks. You know what I mean? To kind of move up. So because of my kind of like laid back attitude, it's like behind the scenes I had like kind of people just like working against me to just kind of exit out. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I came when there was a kind of click in sketches, like you had to get there. They would say you'd have to get there like 15 minutes early. And I was saying like I told one of the managers this, so do you pay me when I get here 15 minutes early? No. So I'll come in if I'm booked in for 10:30, I'll come in on 10:30 on the dot. Click it, boom. There's a lot of people are not kind of confident to say that, but keep in mind when I was in sketches I had already worked in like years before. So pretty much at that time I already knew how the retail game worked.